Hello Wisdom Seekers. I am a practicing civil engineer and my name is Meerabai Sridhar and I graduated BTech Civil from Government College of Engineering, Trivandrum, Kerala, now settled in Madurai, Tamil Nadu. I have been doing this work for many years and out of this experience I want to explain some basic knowledge to be kept in the minds of intelligent laymen planning to build their dream house. You may question or wonder why a non-technical person should get this knowledge and what help it will be to them. The problem is these days if you do not know the basics of building construction, the various tasks involved like site selection, planning, material selection, getting permissions without bribing anybody, what all things can be applied online, even using the Act of RTI, Right to Information Act, to get things done. There are a whole lot of things which can be understood by even a common man, and it will help you a lot to make sure that your building is up to the mark and that you are not being cheated by some poor ethics of contractors. So this will at least help you to look at those things which will avoid major mistakes during construction, and you can find it out at the right time. But if you trust fully, sign a contract and just pay the money and think somebody does the job for you, it's a risky thing. Of course, some people have a full-time civil engineer to supervise and they pay them to do that. It's a good option if they can trust the knowledge of that civil engineer. But even then, it's better to have some basic knowledge about the various aspects of building a house, because after all, it's your house, it's your money, and at the end you should feel that your money has been put to good use and that your building will last a long time because of its good quality work. So to begin with, we'll start with the topic site selection in this video, and this is my first video. As far as possible, I'll be avoiding technical terms and using only local terms. So the first thing you have to look for while selecting your site is accessibility. That is, your plot should have an approach road with a width preferably not less than 20 feet for a good size car for your future use, and also a lorry with construction materials be able to be brought right up to the plot during construction. The approach road can be a metalled or a tarred one rather than a kacha type of road. So the next thing you have to look for is the shape of the plot. As far as possible, select a rectangular or squarish type of plot. If rectangular, neither too long nor too short. The length can be preferably equal to twice the breadth, that is roughly in the ratio 1:2. So according to your requirement and budget, you can select a plot of size 20 by 30, 30 by 30, 40 by 40, 30 by 40, 40 by 60, 40 by 80, etc. Odd-shaped plots require careful planning to make maximum utilization. Unusable areas can be used for landscaping, gardening, rainwater harvesting or sump. So the next thing you have to look for is the level of the water under the ground. Technically saying, it's the water table level. This information you can get from the local people there or from the owners of the adjacent buildings. It's preferable to have a water table level around 60 feet so that you can be assured of perennial water supply throughout the year. The next is leveling. Any plots require leveling. If the natural ground level NGL of the plot is lower than the existing approach road level, then leveling or earth filling will be required to ensure that the level of the plot is brought up to the existing road level. If the level difference is nominal, say 2 feet or so, leveling can be done by manual methods or mechanized leveling processes may be adopted if the unevenness is too high. But if the level difference is considerable, then we can plan an underground parking area if permissible in that locality, or a sump with RC walls all around. The next thing you have to look is, have a look at the adjacent plots also. If there are any tall buildings in the vicinity which will block the aeration and ventilation of your plot, then you have to plan your rooms and position your doors and windows in such a way that your building is well aired and ventilated. The next is the strength of the soil. That's the quality of the soil. Technically saying, it is the bearing capacity of the soil. If the strength of the soil is poor, like for clay or loose soil, you have to plan for a deeper foundation to reach a hard surface. If you are planning for a 2-storied building, then you need not calculate the bearing capacity, accurate bearing capacity of the soil of your site. But if you are planning for a 4 or 5-storied building, you have to get the accurate value of the bearing capacity by doing soil testing, and then only you can plan the type of foundation and the design details of the foundation and also the structure above. So the next thing you have to look for is whether your plot is an agricultural land or is that plot in an unapproved layout. If so, avoid that plot as far as possible, because it's a tedious process to get it regularized. But if you have bought one such plot, then you have to apply for regularization, and it can be done online. And only after getting it regularized, you will be able to get the plan sanctioned. Different states have different procedures for this. So the next thing you have to look for is whether there are any high voltage transmission cable passing overhead your plot. If so, try to avoid that plot as far as possible, because it's a long winding process to get the cable diverted from your plot. But if knowingly or unknowingly you have bought one such plot, if possible, split it into 2, so that in one plot the overhead cable passes through, and in the other it will be free of the overhead cable, and get it registered as 2 documents. And then you can plan your building in that plot with no overhead cable running across and get your plan sanctioned. And the other plot can be used for landscaping, gardening, rainwater harvesting, or even a sump. So these are some of the points to be kept in the mind while selecting the plot. Having selected the plot, the next step is planning. So in our next video, we will take up these questions: how to decide a good house plan, what are the requirements, what are the permissions to be got, statutory requirements, etc. before finalizing your house plan. You can also mention any specific question in the comment box or mail me in the mail ID which I have given. Okay, then we will meet next time. Thank you.